Hi everyone, Bernard here, and I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel. We have a match review today as we look back at Newcastle United 3, Manchester City 4. No, not back in 1968, no, this was 2021, yeah, 14th of May 2021 there. An interesting scoreline, isn't it? There's nothing like a good 4-3 at Newcastle. If I'm a little bit down today, don't worry about it. I think a lot of us have been disappointed last night before the game to find out we weren't getting emails to say we had a ticket for the Everton game. So to say I'm disappointed is probably understating it a little bit. Yeah, even though we won last night, I felt as though we'd lost a big game, to be honest with you, not getting a ticket for that Everton game. But that's how it is. Luck of the draw, isn't it? I've never been very good at lotteries and stuff like that. I've never won many raffles in my life, so a bit disappointed. But all I can say to the guys who go, please do what I would do. Just stand and cheer and sing for the 90 minutes plus the presentation, etc., etc. Just enjoy it. Just really give it all out for the boys, please, because I sort of think back to standing in the singing section and sort of look around me. There's people on the phones, there's people chatting to each other while games are going on. It does annoy me just a little bit to think that perhaps one or two of those guys are there that are going to start chatting to the mates and not get behind the team. So all I ever ask, if you're going to be there, one of this 10,000, make yourself heard. Make sure it's doubly loud, for all us guys who can't make it, who haven't been lucky enough to get a ticket. If you can do that, anyway, speech over. Nothing we can do about it. It's just one of those things. So we'll have our match analysis, all the quirky stats, etc. on last night's game. So join me as we look back at a good victory in the end. I say it certainly didn't look like that most of the time, but there you go. Anyway, please, if you're new to this channel, I am usually very, very cheerful. I try and look above being down, but so I will be cheerful because that's what I am and that's what I do. I put a face on. I put my acting face, put my vlog face on. So let's get on with this. And please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. I do entertain and inform normally, so don't please check out all my playlists on all my City stuff. Loads of City stuff on there. I mean, just such a wide range of City stuff, even if I say so myself. Press that notification button as well if you like it. I also do film and TV stuff, so if you're very interested in that, if you're a bit fed up with football, as I say, it's one of those things, isn't it? Have a look at my film and TV. I do reviews and information vlogs on there. That'd be great if you can do that. And if you have any friends or followers on Facebook and Twitter, the links are on screen. I do post loads of footy stuff on there. And of course, any comments on this game or anything else to do with City, let me know in your comments. That'd be great. And if you can't leave a comment today, just give us a thumbs up. That's even better. Right, let's get on with it, eh? Let's forget about all my sadness and miserableness. Right, match officials. Yeah, the match last night. Mr. Kevin Friend. Assistants is Lionel, Simon Beck, Adrian Holmes. Fourth official Lee Mason. VAR Darren England. Assistant VAR Harry Leonard. He may as well just be making the tea. Harry Leonard, minds. I don't think these assistants do much. Yeah, City starting lineup. 5 changes to the Chelsea game. Yeah, I say when I picked my team, I had no idea what sort of things Pep was thinking of, etc. So we had Carson. There you go. I did put Stefan in my team, but hey, I didn't even think of Carson. I probably should have done, really, shouldn't I? Carson, Walker, Cancelo, Garcia, Ake, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo, Torres, Sterling and Jesus. On the subs bench, Stefan, Diaz, Stones, Laporte, Mendy, Werner, Mahrez, Foden and Palmer. Yeah, I got 6 right, so I'm not gonna make too much about that. As I said, it's for the next 2 games before the Champions League final. If I get 6 or 7 right, I'll be, because I just don't know how how Pep's mind's working in the backup team, doing this, the fitness staff, etc., etc. But I think they're more or less sort of. If I don't get 9 or 10 right of the Champions League final lineup, I will be a bit gutted when it comes to that. But that's a couple of weeks away yet, and we still don't know much about that, do we, at the moment? But there you go. The lineup was fine, apart from Garcia, as I said, and obviously it's just one of those things. I don't think Garcia should be playing. I think, you know, one of the other young lads should be given that spot if need be. I just don't see the point. But hey, there you go. Pre-match social media talk. Yeah, a lot of people were shocked by Carson, but quite happy about it. And most agreed with me on the Garcia thing as well. They didn't really want him in the team, to be honest with you. No offence to the young lad, but he doesn't want to be at City and he's going somewhere else, isn't he? So I don't understand why he's still been given that sort of... It is. I mean, we don't kill to sit on the bench, never mind get on the pitch, won't we? But there you go. Stephen McInerney, Carson, he shouted. Also, Palmer on the bench. Ace. Is that still a word we use? Hope he gets 30 minutes or so. Well, not much chance of that, mate. But he's happy about Carson. JSGC at JSGC 171. I reckon this will be Garcia's last game. I hope so. We will want Laporte, Stones and Diaz to have some sharpness before the CL final. Yeah, definitely Laporte, because he's not been playing, has he? And Stones, he's just been banned for 3 games, so he's not tired, is he? Nice to see Carson start, though. Yeah, I think everyone pretty much agreed with that. Match summation, here we go. We've got Phil Banerjee back for the goal, so that's fine. We'll go on to the first 45 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes, a good move. Aki blasts well over with a better option to his left. I can't remember who was to his left. Was it Cancelo? I'm not too sure now. I can't remember, but yeah, he could have fed in there. It was a bit greedy of Aki, a bit of not his greatest day last night, was it? 8 minutes, Jesus, nice control with his chest, but he placed his shot wide, which was great after that good work he did. 12 minutes, Gundogan pulls a shot wide. Again, Gundogan, another one last night, who, yeah, did a lot right, but I'm not quite forgiving him his shots last night, but we'll have more on that as we go through. 13 minutes, Torres well wide with a front post flick. Yeah, not as delicate as what he did later on, was it? But he tried a little flick at the front post. Didn't quite come off that time. 20 minutes, Dubravka saves comfortably from a Cancelo effort. 24 minutes, a Newcastle break ends in a corner as Walker takes one literally for the team. Yeah, a little bit painful where he took he blocked it. He blocked it with a certain part of his anatomy anyway, didn't he? But we're going to go over to Phil, unfortunately, for the resulting corner. There was a different kind of pain, he said, for Walker when Kraft scored with the far post header from Shelvey's resulting corner, emphasising City's lack of height at the back, and it was 1-0 to Newcastle. Terrible lack of height at the back. It was quite scary at times. 32 minutes, a tame Gundogan free kick was easily gathered by the keeper. It was never going to beat him, that was it. 35 minutes, Shelvey rattles the bar, didn't he, from a free kick with Carson well beat. After, I think Aki was a little bit unlucky to have been adjudged to have fouled. Was it Almiron at the time? I don't think it was a foul. I don't say just Mr. Friend at the end doing his usual rubbish. 39 minutes over to Phil again, with City trying to break through the tightly packed herd of zebras. The ball was laid back. I thought that was United. The ball was laid back to Cancelo on the left-hand corner of the box, and his rasping goal-bound shot was deflected past Dubravka. Well, there you go. You see, you get. There's loads of endabouts. Get your shots in because you could take deflections, but get the shots on target in the first place. If you shoot high and wide, and it doesn't even bother the or likely to hit a defender, then don't. But that's the whole point of it. Get your shots in. We get deflections to other players, or we get deflections into the goal like that. It's wonderful how it had a sort of spun into the goal. We'll stay with Phil after that as well, because it was 2-1 on 42 minutes. Torres flicked home Gundogan's free kick. To say flicked it home, I mean, that's a bit of an understatement, isn't it? A stunning backheel volley, adds Phil. Quite right. It was a brilliant touch from a superbly delivered free kick. It was 44 minutes, a yellow card for Mr. Lumbering Rodri. And there's 3 minutes injury time that stretched to about 7 or 8, didn't it, I think? But yeah, sadly, again, over to Phil in injury time. Newcastle were threat on the break with St. Maximin's pace, and Joe Linton went down under Aki's sliding challenge. There was a VAR check for offside. We were hoping, weren't we? Because we weren't too sure about the penalty. Aki had played St. Maximin onside, and then on a challenge in which Joe Linton actually stood on the sliding Aki's leg, the pen was given. So yeah, nothing from VAR to go and check it, or are you sure about this? No. Just seen again, brushed under the carpet. It's a penalty. Why worry about it? VAR gives that pen, but not one for the 4 clear fouls by Zuma on Sterling on the previous Saturday. Spot on. Joe Linton's powerful penalty was unstoppable. It certainly was a great penalty. At half-time, yeah, my little thoughts. Not the greatest game to watch. Newcastle looking dangerous on the breaks and in the air against Aki and Garcia at the little at the centre-half partnerships. Don't expect Pep to change anything. Let's see if we can be better defensively early as well this half. There you go. I think we were a little bit, but I think Newcastle run out of steam, didn't they, really? 56 minutes, Cancelo, but very, very silly. No need for that. He got caught way up the pitch, but yeah, no need for that sort of booking. 61 minutes, we're back to Phil, aren't we? Yeah, Newcastle rewarded another penalty when Walker brought Willock down after another quick break. Willock insisted that he took it. Willock's penalty was saved by Carson, but he scored from the rebound, arriving just ahead of Garcia. He even had time to half slip before getting there too. Where were the players running in? I say, that's what I say. I mean, what happened to this? I know they can't encroach because the penalty might have to be retaken and stuff like this, but they're all stood there like gnomes in a garden, just stood around watching. I think was it only just Garcia, actually, at least Garcia had a go, but all the others have just stood there looking. I have no idea. I mean, not to say they would have got to it before Willock, but I don't know what they were doing. What's going on? Where's the passion? Where's the attempt to clear it? I have no idea. 64 minutes. We're going to stick with Phil, aren't we? Very quickly. Yeah, City made it 3-3 within 2 minutes with a superbly worked goal. Rodri received the ball in the centre. It was worked out to Jesus, who tormented his marker with a staccato run before drilling a crossing from the right and stretching finish from Torres. It was true, it certainly was. It was superb movement by Torres and the fine wing play by Jesus. Their fluid interchangeability was a positive feature of this game. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Phil. 66 minutes, we're still with Phil. It's getting a bit monotonous now, but in a good way. Cancelo's shot hit the right-hand post and Torres astutely followed into volley home. It was great anticipation. Fantastic goal. The goal had his back to it. There's an image, isn't there, that we captured where he didn't even, it was going its way in the net and he still was looking the other way. I don't know what was going on. But thanks, Phil, for that. Anyway, please check out his full match report on his Facebook page and in various Facebook groups as well. Phil Banerjee. 74 minutes, Mendy on, Cancelo off. Yeah, just to shore up the defence, we bring Mendy on. Yeah, 77 minutes, a dreadful effort by Gundogan after doing great work to create room for a shot. Then not a lot happened. We sort of had a lot of possession. Newcastle run out of ideas, made a couple of substitutions, the huffed and puffed, but they didn't really do too much. 94 minutes, again, Gundogan with a pretty feeble shot, pathetic shot, well over. A bit more on him in his player ratings in a minute. So full time, obviously, Newcastle 3, City 4. Ref watch, yeah, I think the thing is with these, I mean, they make these one or two decisions, like Kevin Friend made that decision that it was, all right, he thought it was a penalty. Of course, he did think it was a penalty, but surely that's where VAR should come into it, and it should actually point out, just have a look at the screen, then go and look at the screen. And if you're still convinced it's a penalty, fair enough, Mr. Friend, do it. But very unhappy, and just generally his reffing was okay for most of the time, but like with most refs, he does silly things, does 2 or 3 things every game. I mean, I'm not going to rate the refs anymore. I didn't think it was a great display from Kevin Friend or the VAR, to be honest with you. I think it was quite pathetic last night. Match stats, shots 11 for Newcastle, 15 for City, 5 on target for Newcastle, 6 for City. Possession 83% for City, amazing. Passes 919, yeah, that's the most we've done for a long, long time. Pass completion 94%. I mean, with our B team, that's not bad going, is it? That's one of the highest we've done for a long time. 4 corners for Newcastle, 5 for us. 67% pass completion for Newcastle. It was pretty naff, wasn't it? So that's probably why I glazed over it. Fouls 11 by them and 10 by us. Player ratings, yeah, it's Mr. Bukowski's in charge. I'm not going to, but usually when we get a good victory, I start with a 7 mark for my players. I'm going to start with a 6.5 today as my starting thing. If it's below that, I don't think they were up to scratch. If it's higher than that, they were better than up to scratch. If it's the same, it means they had an okay standard safe game. Right, Carson, yes, here we go. Couldn't do anything. This is Mr. Bukowski's, and then I'll give my scores after it. Couldn't do anything for the goals and saved a penalty. Well, he didn't really, did he? A top effort on his first Premier League start for 10 years. He didn't save a penalty. So he didn't save it. He saved it, but then let it in. So it's not a save for me anyway. So he's giving him 8. I mean, I think he's been a bit kind there, Simon, because of the situation. I'm just going to give him the 6.5, which is the standard. I'm not getting carried away with that at all. He had not a lot of chance with any of it. Perhaps for me, if that had been me in goal and I'd say that penalty, it wouldn't have ended up back where it ended up. It would have been ended up either out for a corner or somewhere else. But that's obviously That's me, and I'm only speaking from when I was in my prime. I'm probably wouldn't get anywhere near it now, but hey, there you go. So I'll give him a 6.5, but Simon's very generous with an 8, which is fair enough. Walker, lacking his usual composure in a less familiar back line and needlessly gave away a penalty. He's only given him a 5. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. One of Walker's horrible games, a bit more him in a moment, but one of his dodgy games that he does have. Garcia, Newcastle use their pace to good effect against Garcia, leaving holes in the defence to exploit. 5 out of 5. Sorry, 5 he's giving him, and I give him 5 as well. That's why I put a 5 cross 5. A performance totally expected from Garcia. He did a couple of good things, don't get me wrong, he did a couple of good tackles, but he shouldn't even be on the pitch, so I'll give him a 5. Aki, excellent against Chelsea, and not to forget Newcastle, conceded a penalty in the first half and looked anything but comfortable for most of the night. He's given him a 4. Flipping heck, that's low, isn't it? Yeah, I'll give him a 5, so it is still low, but not much went right. Again, like Garcia, he did one or two things okay, but he just looked like totally out of his depth against a team like Newcastle, which, disrespect to Newcastle, but yeah, not good. Cancelo scored a goal, but, stick with him. It's like anything, stick with him. I mean, we write these players off too soon, don't we? We'll get onto one of those in a moment. Cancelo scored a goal with a little help from Jacob Murphy. It was, but at least he put the shot in. Got forward often in the left-back role to keep him in contention for the Champions League final. Yeah, okay, a bit more on that later in my little Champions League start 11 watch. 7 from Simon. I'll give him a 6.5. Very good going forward. Bloody awful defending. So there you go. That's always been my impression pretty much on Cancelo, even when he's having his purple patch. Rodri enjoyed more support that he got in the Chelsea game, was generally solid, ticking over possession and getting forward to help the attack. He's given him a 7, Simon. Yeah, I'm not even going to give him a 6.5. I'm just going to give him a 6. I wasn't only impressed with Rodri. I just think he lumbered about again last night. He did a couple of good things. Did a bit of passing, did do wall passes where he sort of gets it from someone and moves it onto another person. But I'm just going to give him a 6. I wasn't overly impressed against, as I say, not the greatest midfield team. No disrespect again, but no, it wasn't great for me. Gundogan worked his way into some dangerous positions, but wasn't able to find an elusive goal. Still a stylish performance, so he's given him a 7. I've knocked half a point off. I'm sorry, I thought he did very, very well. I thought he looked very lively. But I'm sorry, he had at least 3, probably 4 pathetic attempts on goal. If you're not good at the target, what is the point? You imagine the Champions League final, he gets 1 or 2 chances, and if he does what he did last night, just total waste of time. So I'm going to knock him half a point off it. It's getting to the stage of the season now where these are crucial, and I'm not going to give much leeway to some of these scores. And I'm afraid Gundogan, for all his work and tireless work, I mean, what's happened to those finishes he did when, the middle of the season when KDB is there? He's sort of finishing, scoring goals for fun, and he's just totally gone off the boil. So Simon give him a 7, I'll give him a 6. Bernardo, industrious as ever, grinding Newcastle down with the usual minimum fuss. Yep, dovetail well with Torres. He did. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I can't disagree with that 7. I don't remember him giving it away to anyone. I don't remember him particularly losing the ball, but he did his usual ball. I'd like to see him a bit further up the field where he can perhaps do a bit more, cause a bit more problems. But yeah, he did his typical role, so I'll give him a 7 like Simon. Torres, an incredible strike it was for the first goal and clinical in the box to get his second and third goals. A lovely night at the end of a very promising first season. It was, as I say, I didn't give up on Torres, as I think I mentioned in a few of the recent reviews now. I think there's potential there, and I saw that some great finishing, some strikers finishing. He's probably, I did say on Twitter, at the moment, he looks the only City player who has that little knack, who knows how to put the ball on target and get it in the net when he gets an opportunity. Not just because he scored his hat-trick, he's done it before, hasn't he? Let's be honest about it. So, could be interesting. Could be interesting how Torres progresses next season. Or even this season, you never know. Sterling, another opportunity missed to nail down a place for Porto. It was. Unfortunately, he was live in the first half without necessarily threatening too much, then faded after the break. He's given him a 6. Yeah, I've given him 5.5. I'm not even going to give him a 6. Simon gave him a 6. I'll give him a 5.5. He did bits, but that's all. And some of the bits were pretty rubbish, to be honest with you. Jesus, a decent showing. His passing crisp and his shooting sharp. Made life hard for the Newcastle defence, even if he couldn't score. Yeah, again, he did what he had to do. He wasn't there at it wasn't the sharp end, was he? He was put out on the wings. Simon's given him a 7. I'll give him a 6.5. He was just lively, did what he had to do basically without being overly fantastic. But yeah, I mean, I might have edged to a 7, but I'll give him a 6.5, which isn't too bad. Mendy, yeah, I've not marked Mendy. Little impact as per. That's what Simon said. That's a bit cruel, isn't it? He's given him a 6 anyway. Phil's ratings, Phil Banniger's ratings while we're on it. Yeah, always interesting, Phil's ratings. Carson 7, Walker 5, Garcia 6, Aki 5, Cancelo 7, Bernardo 8, Rodri 6, Gundogan 8. That's the only probably one I have a problem with, to be honest with you. Torres 9, Jesus 7, and Sterling 6, a little bit higher, but I think Phil's generally a little bit higher than me and Simon anyway. My man of the match, I think it goes without saying, doesn't it? Mr. Torres, of course, is going to get the man of the match for that, isn't he? No doubt about it. And someone did say if Torres hadn't played, it probably would have been Jesus. Probably. Don't know. Not too sure on that one. So there you go. St James is now in the league. We've played 84 times. They've won 18 now, drawn 17 and lost 49. So we're still well behind, but we can catch that up, can't we? Goals for 92, goals against 156. Quirky stats up to Joe. Scott Carson making his first Premier League appearance since May 2011 for West Brom, also against Newcastle at St James's Park. And I think he's let 3 in that day, didn't he? I think it was a 3-3 draw. With this gap of 3,645 days being the longest between appearances for a goalkeeper in Premier League history. Record breakers. Ferran Torres is the youngest player to score a league hat-trick for a Pep Guardiola team, with the previous youngest Lionel Messi against Tenerife in January 2010. 22 years, 200 days. Record alert. Record breakers. City are now unbeaten their last 23 away games in all competitions. 121, drawn 2. Oh yeah, the neutral venue doesn't count, does it? The longest ever unbeaten away run by a side in the top 4 tiers of English football. Manchester City have won their last 12 away league matches. Record breakers. The longest ever away winning run by a team in the top 4 tiers of English league football since the formation of the Football League in 1888. Yeah, that is definitely a record breaker. Stat City Scott Carson is the 60th different player to make an appearance for Man City under Pep. Man City have now won 20 consecutive away matches in all competitions, extending their record-breaking run. Well, someone said slightly different to that, isn't it? But I see where they're getting at with Stat City with that slightly different one. Ferran Torres is the first ever City player to score a hat-trick at St James's Park. Fantastic, yeah. We don't usually do very well there, as you can see from those stats. Ferran Torres has scored his first and Man City's 29th Premier League hat-trick. Well done, Ferran. Ferran Torres' first goal was the 1,550th that City have scored in the Premier League. Scott Carson is the oldest player to make their debut for Man City since Frank Lampard, City legend Frank Lampard, 36 in September 2014. There you go. Conclusion, yeah, Newcastle, yeah, ran out of steam. In the second half, no wonder. I mean, they did work hard, and City did make them work hard. Even though I said we didn't have our bestest team out, but I think the team played with reasonable pace. Some people saying they were a bit sluggish. I thought they played all right. They certainly played very well for 60 minutes. Newcastle. Some of the final balls going forward weren't great. They could have sort of damaged us a little bit more than they did, but. Obviously, you can see why perhaps they have been down there most of the season. But I think they played a bit more confidence last night. I think you can see the pressure was off in the way they played. And I think Bruce should be reasonably happy with that, to be honest with you. City scored some good goals. You have a little bit of luck with that first goal where it spun in and took a sort of side off, like a side thing on snooker, wasn't it? It sort of spun and spun in. And we did score some good goals, so that's perhaps the difference between the two teams, because I thought Newcastle put up a good show last night, and to say we did ease off a little bit once we went 4-3 up. We did sort of Newcastle didn't really know what to do then, but I think they're just, as I said, I think they're just generally tired, to be honest with you. But yeah, they were all right, Newcastle. Not too bad last night. City, yeah, well, obviously it's a funny team, wasn't it? Defensively very poor. Obviously only Walker from our normal back five was out, but even he was poor, wasn't he? So that didn't help. Perhaps he got dragged down to the level of the players around him, something like that. Torres was superb, great for his confidence. And as I said, he does look like a natural goal poach on nights like this, doesn't he? But sometimes you don't see him. But there you go. It's obviously he sort of stepped up last night, and that's all we can ask, really. And all we need now, perhaps, is Pep to work work that little magic and hone this skill that obviously Torres has got. I mean, I think Pep has said he bought a winger, but he's realising perhaps he has an eye for goal now, and perhaps Pep, if someone's going to get it out of Torres on a a regular basis, then Pep's the guy, isn't he? And let's harness that skill that he obviously has, that little bit, just a little bit of something, that eye for goal that not everyone has it. There's not many players who have it. Obviously that's what makes a really good striker. I don't think he'd probably be a standard number 9 or considered a number 9, but hey, there's certainly potential there, isn't there? Yeah, job done. Bit frail, but obviously reasons for this frailty from set pieces, etc. I mean, we looked awful probably because of the centre-half partnership and our zonal marking. We do look pretty poor from set pieces last night, but as I say, no Stones, no Diaz, no Laporte, probably all make a difference. No Edison perhaps to come and command his area. I don't think Scott Carson is that type of goalkeeper. And my European Champions League watch, just to have a look at what players might have cemented their place, or what players might have pushed their way into Pep's mind. Just have a quick look at the players, some of the players last night. I think Torres has certainly played himself into a game-changing substitute anyway, hasn't he? I mean, let's face it, you can have about 15 substitutes, can't you? So he's certainly going to be sort of not done his cause any harm, has he? Let's be honest about it. So let's see how he goes in the next couple of games. I'm sure he'll get another couple of games, see how he does them, but it certainly won't have done him any harm. Walker was poor, but it's going to be very hard for him to miss out at the moment, but obviously Cancelo's sniffing, isn't he? But he's going to have to be pretty poor the next couple of games if he does play. I think he'll get a rest in certainly one of them, or perhaps both, but Walker's done enough to guarantee more or less his place anyway. I don't think that's going to affect him last night. Bernardo, of course, another one where there's no change there. I think he's probably down as a definite start the way for his pure work rate at the moment. Gundogan again looked okay, but that shooting needs he needs to be tucked to one side and improve his shooting, because as I say, it could become crucial. It wasn't crucial last night, but it could become crucial, and he gets himself in some great spots, and he's got to improve that shooting at the moment. Certainly when it comes to a final, you only get 1 or 2 chances. But at the moment, of course he's in the starting 11. Cancelo's in the same boat, isn't he? He's gonna. He won't be playing. He won't be replacing Zinchenko at the moment. Zinchenko's ahead of him. And Walker, even though he was rubbish last night, is probably still ahead of him as well. But he'll keep going. Let's see what happens with Cancelo. It's still a bit of an open one, that. Rodri, in my opinion, still behind Ferner for that Champions League final spot. I don't think he's changed anything last night. Jesus did no harm to his cause. I mean, but again, he's probably going to be on the bench just at the moment, unless there's always injuries to come, isn't there? But certainly of the players who are on the bench, like Jesus and Torres, I wouldn't bulk, be worried about them playing at this point in time. I think they'd be worthy additions, if someone does drop out. And Sterling, well, he's never going to get there. It's good. I mean, you could probably, if you get 100-man subs bench, I mean, he's still going to be there, isn't he? But he'd be lucky to see anything of that Champions League final. Again, you never know. He might just have that one bit of magic that we need with a couple of minutes left. But based on what we've seen, we've no faith in that, have we? But there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know your player ratings, etc., etc. As I say, all right, I'm fine. As I say, I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. I wasn't in work. I usually work, obviously I'm usually awake at 2 for work, but even though I wasn't in work, I usually sort of sleep and get a headache, but I was still awake at 4, and it was still on my mind about, not this particular game, other things as I've already banged on about, so, but hey, there you go. We get on with it, don't we? We're City fans, and a good win last night at the end of the day. Another 3 points, 13 points clear of that rabble across the road now, so that'll do for me. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this little match review. Of course, I'll be back with a preview of the Brighton game. Keep an eye out for the History Boys feature as well. I enjoyed doing that. It was quite a good one this week for the History Boys feature about Brighton. And don't forget the live show. Don't forget the live show, guys. Monday night UK time, 5 p.m. Come on there and let's have a chat. Let's talk about the upcoming week, and let me know if you were lucky enough to get Everton tickets or whatever. Just let's all console each other, or congratulate each other. Congratulate the guys who managed to get one. It's fantastic, isn't it? Anyway, whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, look after each other. Until we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you have a flit across. Go on, have a look at my film and TV channel. I've just done a thing on cinema releases. Yeah, the cinemas are back open in the UK. I'm the first one I've done for months, so it used to be a regular feature until COVID struck, but there you go. So have a look at that if you get a chance, or if you know somebody who might be interested, please point them over there as well. Come on, all I am going to say to you till the next time we meet is stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.